And a lot of times when I look at people's messaging, the first thing I see is lack of alignment. You're trying to convince people that this is a valuable program, it's worthy, and they should invest in it, and it's going to help them. And you're not owning it. And that's why your messaging is coming off so overcompensating. The fourth conversation we had is overcompensating in your content and in your messaging. Overcompensating is where you feel like you need to over-explain. You need to overgive. You need to overcreate. You need to be overly available. Everything is over the fucking top. A lot of times we think that's what's valuable. It's you feeling like you have to convince people and prove to people that the thing you're talking about or the thing that you're selling is so valuable. It's your way of being like, I'm trying to get you to understand that my thing is amazing and that you need it and that you should buy it. To try to get you or convince you to see that and try to prove to you that that's the case. I'm overcompensating with my energy, with my words, with all the things I'm going to include in this offer. And what it is it's your subconscious is out of alignment. There's something, either consciously or subconsciously, that you are not dialed in on. There's something 100% that you're not 100% on. Rather it be the price, rather it be the outcome, rather it be the type of people you want to work with, rather it be the structure of the offer, rather it be like the promise of the program, whatever it is. There is something about the thing that you're selling that you are not 100% sold on. And so what happens, because subconsciously you're not 100% on it, consciously you're going to go and create content that's going to be desperate, that's going to be overcompensating, it's going to be overwhelming and confusing, because really what you're trying to do is convince you and your audience that this program is valuable, that this program is worth it, that you should invest in this program. Instead of owning it and being 100% in it, you're overcompensating. And it reeks desperation in your messaging, even when you try to hide it. Sometimes I have clients that will come to me and I'll read their messaging and I'm like, what are we doing here? And they don't even notice it until I point it out. So you could not even, it could be a chance that you're doing this in your messaging and you're not even aware of it. It could be that you're saying things in a certain way in your messaging, or you're doing certain things in your messaging and you're not even aware that it's coming off desperate and that it's literally overcompensated. There's a big difference when you are so confident in what you're selling and when you're not confident in what you're selling, even a little bit. There's a huge difference in your energy and the messaging that you put out, in the words that you use to talk about what you're doing. There's a huge difference. And even if you're not really seeing it, or even if you're doing a good job hiding it, the people reading it can feel it. And a lot of times when I look at people's messaging, the first thing I see is lack of alignment. You're desperate. You're trying to convince people that this is a valuable program, it's worthy, and they should invest in it, and it's going to help them. And you're not owning it. And that's why your messaging is coming off so overcompensating, right? And you can know if you're this person. You probably know right away when I say that. You're like, I do that, right? You might be the person that when you talk to people and they say, hey, can you tell me about your program? You're like, oh my gosh, yes, you get this, and oh my God, we do this together. I give you all these books. And all of a sudden you start going really fast and your energy's up and you're like, woo, and you're like wordy. You're very wordy. And when people say, tell me about your program or tell me about what you do, it's a book. It's a novel. And if they don't stop you, you won't stop talking. That's overcompensating. That means there's a lack of alignment and there's something in the thing that you're selling. Something's off. There is something you are not 100% feeling good about, or there's something you're not 100% dialed in on. Otherwise, you'd be like, yeah, my program is this. We help these people do this. And here's what you'll get, these 3 things. It's awesome. Let me know if you have questions. Level of confidence, clear. It's crystal clear, right? When we're not confident and crystal clear, we over speak about it. We write books, we write novels that could take 5 seconds to tell you. That is where you need to slow down and look at your messaging, and you need to see where you're doing this. Oftentimes, my clients are doing it in their emails, they're doing it in their social posts, they're doing it on their live shows, and I see them doing this inside sales conversations. And I'll listen back to their live sales conversations, and I'm like, why are you overcompensating? Why are you trying to convince? Why didn't you say that and then zip it after? Why did you keep talking? Why didn't you let them respond? Why did you keep going and going and going? And why did your voice get louder and louder and louder? What was going on there? And when they listen to it, they come back and they're like, oh my God, I'm not clear. I'm not solid on this offer. And so I'm over-proven and overcompensating in my messaging, in my conversations, because I'm trying to convince them and show them this program is valuable, but I'm not in alignment with something about it. Okay? This is really, really big. The most important thing is going to be so clear. Stop trying to be sexy and clever and witty and smart, and just be clear. We help this person do this. If you have questions, let me know. Literally, it's that simple. There is no proving. There is no convincing. There's no desperation. There's no you don't need to overcompensate, right? And I see this time and time again. I see this with sellers. I see this with my CEOs, my coaches. I see this in my audience. I see this all the time. People come to me with offers and messaging, and they're doing all these things, and they're getting money objections, and they're not generating the sales that they want with the efforts that they're doing. Overcompensating equals overwhelm. When you overgive and overcreate and you overtalk, you overwhelm your people. And when someone is overwhelmed, they're going to give you an objection because they're going to have resistance. Because the question is, why are you doing that? Why can't you just tell me in 5 seconds or less what the heck this offer is? Why can't you tell me in 5 seconds or less what you're going to help me do? I don't understand why it's a whole book and why there's 7 different modules and why there's 8 different downloads and 12 different bonuses. You're overwhelming me and confusing me, and I haven't even bought the thing yet. More is not more value. Less is more.